Andrew Tate right? Now, is it right that they banned him from all social media platforms? Guy is a bit of a turd. I mean, if he wants to go on and, you know, be toxic, fucking go for it. How am I to be depressed when I can squeeze my fist and break my own hand? Okay guys, I did a Q&A on my Instagram. You guys sent me a ton of awesome questions. I'm gonna go through here, pick out a handful of these, and Wally and I are gonna answer them for you. Sound good, Wally? Sound good? Okay, let's do this. Question number one, this gentleman wants to see more Wally content. Well, Wally, come here, buddy. Come on. Here he is. You ask, and I provide. Do you think 21 is too old to start seriously and try and achieve a pro card or more? No, I do not. I didn't do my first show until I was 31 years old. I had probably trained in the gym roughly 6-7 years, but I didn't do a show, take any PEDs, any of that until I was 31 years old. So no, I think 21 years old is plenty young. You've got all the time in the world. You could have a decade under your belt before you were where I was before I even started. So no, not too old at all. It's actually very young, in my opinion. So how do you set up your deloads? I personally don't set up a deload. It's not anything that I have scheduled. It's not anything that I plan. I just go off of how I'm feeling. Now, I'm probably gonna approach it a few different ways based on how things are going. If I'm dealing with, say, some joint pain that's clearly from overuse, I'm probably just going to avoid training entirely. Let's say my elbows are hurting every time I press. Well, I'm just not gonna press for a week. I'm not gonna go in there and press lighter and just do low volume. I'm just gonna do nothing. I'm gonna take that time completely off and just walk away from the gym for a week. That's kind of how I handle my deloads. Now, if I'm just looking at not really recovering from week to week, if I'm approaching my following leg day and I'm just not recovering and I feel like recovery is an issue, then I'm just gonna back off the volume and keep my intensity the same. So I will still do the same weights, I just won't maybe do as many sets. But to be honest, when I feel beat up, I have no issues stepping away from the gym for an entire week. Appetite slowly going away on surplus, add in cardio, or mess around with calories / macros. Now, that is going to be part of it, unfortunately. As you increase calories and go into a surplus, your appetite will fade. I do like to implement cardio in an off-season setting. That way, like, I can help stimulate appetite. So any additional movement is going to help. Going for a 10-minute walk before your meal or after your meal just to help with digestion. Waking up in the morning and riding the bike for 20 minutes. Things like that that aren't gonna necessarily burn a ton of calories, but are going to help you stimulate your appetite. So as far as messing around with calories, I will say that you can't just redline your appetite for long periods of time. You have to let the body breathe. And I'm always a fan of push and pull. There should always be some push and some pull. So you get to a point where inevitably you're just gonna have to come down because your body doesn't wanna be, like I said, redlining for that long period of time. Get as much as you can out of a certain block of time, but don't be afraid to pull back, resensitize the appetite, reestablish good hunger markers, give your digestive tract a break, and then reintroduce calories again. So cardio, yes, and eventually, after a long period of time, I do think pulling back is always gonna be beneficial. This says, is Andrew Taint right? Taint. Oh my God, it's the most painful shit. How am I to be depressed when I can squeeze my fist and break my own hand? What? That is like, people like that?
It's fucking hilarious.
When I can demolish an enemy in a second. How can I be depressed? Like, what?
I love it. I think it's so funny.
It's so crazy to me. Okay, the question is Andrew Tate right? Now, this gentleman put, is Andrew Taint right? Which I think is pretty fitting because the guy is a bit of a turd. I don't know. I really can't tell you because I don't really know enough about the guy. Now, is it right that they banned him from all social media platforms? I don't think so. I don't believe in censorship. I think that's bullshit. I mean, if he wants to go on and, you know, be toxic, fucking go for it. He's just a guy that you wanna, he's like got a punchy face. You just wanna punch him in the face just how he looks. Andrew Tate, I don't know. I don't think he should be banned from social media. Do I think that young kids should be looking up to him and, I don't know, treating his word as gospel? Maybe not. I don't believe that either. But again, I don't really know enough about the guy to have too strong of an opinion. With your wife doing CrossFit, have you incorporated anything from it into your training? No. None of it. Nothing at all. Nope. Even my wife is no longer incorporating CrossFit training. Okay, here's an interesting question. How do I train progressive overload if I change exercises every week? You don't. That is the point of progressive overload style training. So if you are changing your exercises every week, you're not going to be able to track that progress. Now, if we're talking about doing something every other week where you maybe rotate out a hack squat for a barbell squat, that's different. But if you're gonna be going from machine to machine to machine to different curl variations, different presses, you're never gonna be able to track your progress, and you're never going to be able to overload progressively in that fashion. So it is absolutely a necessity for you to stick with a certain exercise for a period of time and progress that particular exercise. So to answer your question, how to train progressive overload if you change exercises every week, you can't. Don't change exercises every week. Even if your goal isn't to train progressively and do a progressive overload style, logbook style training, you still shouldn't change your exercises every single week, in my opinion. You should pick an exercise and you should get fucking good at it and get very strong at it. That's how you progress. Pancakes or waffles? I always consider myself more of a pancake guy. I know, I see that look. You're a waffle guy? Yeah. Okay, so I see the benefit of waffles. I like to put butter on my waffles and have it melt in the grooves and fill the grooves with maple syrup. It's great. But I think I enjoy pancakes more. Now, pancakes or French toast, I might have to say French toast. Maybe I just don't like breaking out my waffle iron, and it's too much effort.
Slam 3 pancakes.
I just like to put them in it. Yep, yeah. Maybe I'm just lazy. I don't know. But if I'm going to IHOP, it's the International House of Pancakes, so maybe that's why I'm getting pancakes. But if I'm at a restaurant, I'm probably gonna order pancakes before I order waffles. So, is what it is. How many businesses do you own? So currently, my wife and I, we own our gym. I own my cannabis dispensary, and I own my cannabis farm, and then I also run my coaching business. So I think that's 4 businesses. You know, you could look at the cannabis business as one business. They are vertically integrated, but they are 2 separate businesses. It's a farm and a dispensary that operate completely separately. So yeah, 4 businesses. Street brawl. Who'd you rather go against, Guy or Ian? I'm going to pick Ian. I'm gonna fight the friendly Canadian fella. I really don't wanna fight the short, angry Italian guy. I feel like Guy would be very squirrely in a street fight, and he's very aggressive, angry fella. And I have a feeling he would find a way to beat me to death. That's how I feel. I feel like Guy would probably pull a tire out of his car and beat me with it, or just run me over with his car. Or he's the guy that would break a bottle on the curb and try to fight you with it. So I'm gonna fight Ian, and Guy can go take his anger out on someone else. I love you, Guy. I didn't mean anything personal by that. Actually, it's a compliment. I don't want to fight you, Guy. You're scary. Am I coaching my wife? Yes, I'm currently coaching my wife into her first ever show. She's currently 6 weeks out. What's your go-to for winding down at the end of the day, being busy with bodybuilding and business? Honestly, my favorite thing to do is just to come home and relax with my wife and watch one of our favorite TV shows or play some PlayStation. We got a PS5, so we like to play games together. But really, that's how I like to unwind. Take the dogs on a walk, we'll put them on the leash, walk around the neighborhood, come home, maybe have a glass of red wine, watch some TV. That's my ideal evening. If you're able to go to true failure, is one all-out top set enough for each exercise? So I am a low volume guy, and a lot of the times I will have just one set for a given exercise. Now, your ability to take a set to failure, I think, is very, very important. But that needs to be coupled with your ability to execute a movement. If you can't be precise with a movement and load the targeted muscle groups, let's just say hack squats. Now, plenty of people can take a hack squat to failure, but maybe their feet are high on the platform and they're just loading their glutes and hamstrings and their quads aren't necessarily working and they go way too heavy and they end up failing at 6 reps. Now, is that gonna be an effective set? No, I don't believe so. But if you're a guy who can put your feet at the bottom of that platform, have maximal knee flexion, knees over toes, and you give me 15 fucking reps to complete failure, yes, I think that can be enough. Have you lost your luggage lately? So, funny story about that. I lost my luggage, or the airport rather, lost my luggage 3 trips in a row. When I flew to Texas, they lost my luggage. I flew to Florida, they lost my luggage. I came home from Florida and they lost my wife's luggage. That was all in what, in 1 month?
Yeah, and it took me like a week to get it back.
Yeah, it took us like a week to get our bag back. So no, actually last time we flew, I didn't check a bag. I just brought a big carry-on and shoved it between my legs. Get punched by Mike Tyson or kicked by Bruce Lee. I'm gonna get kicked by Bruce Lee, for sure, right? I don't want to, who wants to get punched by Mike Tyson? I think people don't realize how fucking detrimental getting punched in the face by Mike Tyson would be. I'm gonna let Bruce Lee's skinny little ass kick me in the leg. Not that that wouldn't hurt too. Getting punched in the face by Iron Mike, no, thank you. Okay, do you think that barbell rows are a must for upper back and erectors? I prefer barbell row in the Smith. I personally prefer barbell rows in the Smith machine as well. Do I think that anything is a must? No, not necessarily. If you're talking about training erectors, back extensions, deadlifts of any type, I think that barbells are a very good tool, and I think that everyone should be proficient with a barbell. Especially when you're talking about beginning this endeavor, you should get good with a barbell and get strong. Now, in a place where I'm at, do I use a barbell as much as I used to? No, I don't. I actually do prefer machines, Smith machines, but for me, I'm just at a place where I know what I can get out of those movements. But I always encourage beginners to learn how to use a barbell, progress in those basics like barbell rows, deadlifts, squats, bench press, all of those, and just get strong at it. I think that's a very, very important thing that is being missed right now with a lot of these guys coming up. Okay guys, I think that's enough for these questions. I appreciate everybody who responded to my DMs. I didn't tell anybody this was gonna be on YouTube. I found that last time I told everyone it was gonna be on YouTube, everybody was a little bit more reserved with their questions. So next time I do this, I'll warn you guys it's gonna be on YouTube, but don't be reserved with the questions, don't hold back. Give us the good stuff. If you like this video, let us know. We'll continue to do more of these and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks everybody.